5, 4, 3, 2.
Perfect timing. Put your phones on mute too.
Thank you very much, Corn Boy. I'm going to bring you off screen, and we're going to bring something else on screen here. Let me make sure we've got this ready to go. So here we go. As Corn Boy said, tonight we are doing Oxkrewe Book 2, Harrow Zone. So for the next 90 minutes, we are going to be revealing that. And we are actually here live from IshCon in North Carolina, in front of a live studio audience. Everyone, I told you to be quiet during the show, except for right now. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get started with this. The first figure reveal we are going to do for the Oxkrewe Book 2 Harrow Zone is Harrow Zone. It's not showing. Okay. Give me one moment. I'm going to see. We just got a message saying that it wasn't showing, so we're going to try that again.
You hear me?
Yeah. Technical difficulties, so please give us a moment.
There you go.
Is it up now?
Yeah, it's up.
Remember, this has the delay.
Well, they all should have the delay. So we see it. Everyone sees Harrow Zone there. Okay, good.
All right.
Let's continue now. It's tiny?
Yeah, right over.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
You're good.
Still got it? All right.
You never lost it.
Let's go forward now. This first character is a Wasteland Rover from a new actual affiliation called Scape Haven. This is a character that in some of the teasers that we did recently, this was a character that we actually dropped this name in that teaser. So people may have been curious who this character is going to be. This is that first character, Hylor Kryn, and this is a wonderfully cool shot from none other than Trevor Williams, 1/6 shooter. We actually did a Q&A here today, and we were talking about the storytelling element in these photos, and we get to really see that right here.
Yeah, this is one of those shots that I've said it many times, but you know, this is one of my all-time favorites, at least at this point. That'll probably change next time, but it's just such a great encapsulation of this wave, I think. Just an awesome hero shot, and I mean, just everything about this is just cool.
So let's look at the actual character shots itself. This is going to have some familiar parts. This is a character that is, we're going to find out in a minute, a former Tusk character, a Tusk empiricist. So there are some, Tusk elements on here, but there are also some brand new parts on this as well, starting with a brand new head. I mean, the most impactful new part you can add to a character is the head. This has got a brand new sculpted head with that tube coming out. That's really gives a new look to this character. What else are we seeing that's new on this?
So, yeah, I mean, aside from obviously, yes, the head is the first item that you notice, but a really cool addition that we did on this figure is on that Tusk armor, we did a new set of lower legs where it's got the mid-calf cut that we've been putting more and more into the figures lately. And so there's a new set of boot tops along with that as well. And for me, it's just amazing how much of a difference adding a different set of lower legs to this body build adds. It definitely gives him more of this kind of desert wasteland look that we were going for. And I mean, it's backwards compatible with other boots that we've done of this type. So, much like we're always talking about, like adding to the parts library and things like that, it's a subtle little addition, but at the same time, you're actually gaining a lot more customizability out of it, and just it just plays into the character really well.
Yeah, we've got that shield there that's got the Scape Haven logo. Actually, the topper for that mace weapon is the first time we're seeing that in the line as well, because we've seen something similar with Cainox Vol, but it had more of the spikes. This has got those more blunted edges. We refer to it as like an electro mace in this, because as you're going to find out, these characters are using these to wield to kind of defend themselves off some stuff. Yeah. So besides what you see here, we do have a second head with this piece. This is actually the head that originally came with
Sligor, the Gravekeeper.
Somebody in the Cabal, it shows how, our fans, are the finger on the pulse of what you can do with these. There was somebody whose name I can't remember. I don't remember who posted it, that posted a similar paint job on this, and actually Joe commented, "Whoa!" And he posted it weeks after we had already shot this and everything, but it was interesting to see somebody, not exactly, but it was blues and it had some, that face paint. It was really, really cool to see somebody else out there thinking at the same wavelength we were.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's a versatile head.
Yeah.
And so, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this one again at some point.
Black screen. That's all I get right now.
This one's been stalled out.
Yeah, so someone's saying that's a black screen.
This is CB's screen, I think. He's looking at. It's black. They're saying that there's no video.
Only CB or on
Everybody,
YouTube?
I don't. You guys getting video? It's frozen on one picture. It's the signal coming in. It's, yeah, I'm sure are we
Okay.
on the right website?
Yes, we are. We are on the right one. So hold on one moment.
Yeah, it's also a storm going on too.
Yeah, there's also a very, very bad storm going on here
That's
right
probably
now.
the biggest issue.
Yeah, so I'm just going to have to plunge forward right now.
I think you go, and then if nothing else, we have a clean video
Yeah.
of this we can post after
Yep.
this, right?
Yeah. All right, we'll keep going. All right, so besides we are posting these to Instagram as well, so these images are going to be at Instagram. Of course, our apologies. One of the things we can't control is the weather outside in North Carolina here. We've got a lot of storms coming through. That's certainly going to affect that. This is the loadout that you're going to get for the figure. A couple sets of hands. You've got a couple different weapons there. And again, both of those heads that we're showing here, that shield tube. Nice close-up shot of the new helmet there. Those in the room, we just got a number of oohs and ahs. You can see that more up close here. So this is a standard figure. It's going to be a $37 figure. All of the soft goods are removable. There's full armor underneath. This character, I'm going to read the bio now. Once employed by the Traders Union's Empiricist Division, Hylor Kryn was part of a dual operative team sent to a remote section of Thermos to investigate a spatial anomaly. This anomaly was the suspected cause of a number of Tusk vessels which had gone missing while on assignments in that area. Hylor and his partner detected the problem as soon as they entered the fourth ring, but unfortunately for the pair of Tusk empiricists, detection and understanding of the anomaly was not enough to save them from falling victim to it. Their vessel's instruments failed and they crashed on a planet named Thraxon. Salvaging as much of the Tusk-issued equipment from their ship as they could, including a pair of hostile environment suits and a small arsenal of weaponry and defensive gear, the pair left their damaged vessel and set out into the harsh terrain of Thraxon. So these are characters, Eric, that they've got that very Tusk look, but we're seeing that they're no longer necessarily loyal to Tusk because they are now on Thraxon and they're dealing with the dynamics of being on that planet.
Right. Yeah, we thought it would be interesting to, we're already looking at our Oxkrewe group crashed on this planet, and so, we wanted to see what it would look like if we had other characters from a group like Tusk. What would happen if they crashed on the planet and perhaps have been here longer than Oxkrewe have been here, and so. From a figural standpoint, it was just, it was a cool exercise in taking like the Tusk build that we've become familiar with and applying it to a more weathered and environmentally efficient setup that, it works with the terrain and the atmosphere of the planet. And so, we were able to employ the soft goods on this, which, you can see from the photos, like the fact that here it's more like this scarf type of a setup, whereas in the unhelmeted one, it's wrapped over the head a little bit more like a hood. And it's wired as we do with all the soft goods, so there's a lot of room for dramatic posing. Same with the loincloth as well. So yeah, I mean this one, it's a nice departure from the other Tusks that we've done in the past, but still has that thread that goes back to what we're familiar with at this point.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's figure number one. Again, $37 standard figure for those who are trying to follow at home. Once again, our apologies. Due to the storms, we're going to plow through this. Hopefully this will at least upload effectively and you can watch the replay if you are not able to see it live, and you can follow on Instagram. Let's go to the second figure reveal.
Let's do it.
The second figure is another Wasteland Rover from Scapehaven, another character who was mentioned in the story that we had recently, and that's Jobara Key. So this is going to be Hylor's partner. This is going to be two different characters, and we're going to learn more about this character. But first, let's check on another one of the great environment photos here. Another really cool shot when it comes to storytelling. Love that we're seeing, them, this Harrow Zone wave. This is, as we're going to learn, and we already heard some about this in the stories. This is a wave, this is a part of the story where these characters are racing through the area that connects the Oxkrewe's makeshift camp in the south of Thraxon to this settlement that they call Scape Haven in the north. In the desolate space between those two is called the Harrow Zone. So that's what these characters are racing through, and we're seeing that here as someone's in that cockpit that they're driving, or that driver's seat, they're driving there. These other characters, both Hylor and Jobara, they're hanging off that, and they're doing their best to provide those defensive measures. So, Eric, talk to us a little bit about this character, and I'm going to get this posted online.
Okay. Again, this is another ex-Tusk character. So, again, it's a lot of the same things apply here, where it was cool to go back and take some of that Tusk armor and some of that Tusk equipment and reimagine it as this more wasteland style character. It was also like the build combination on this was cool too, because I think in Cosmic this is the first time we've used the 2.0, the smaller body fabric arms and legs, which brings a new dimension, and it fit in really well here with the wasteland styling. And again, CJASM did a killer job on the soft goods here. Really comes in and kind of helps to redefine how this armor would be repurposed to deal with the harsh elements of Thraxon. And there's some pieces that from the parts library that we haven't seen in a long time. The head we haven't seen since Advent of Decay, and we were able to get a cool repurpose out of the Ziri mask as well. Both Hylor and Jobara, they both having the mask, the gas mask sort of a look, kind of speaks to the environment of Thraxon, and really gives these two characters a little bit of a fish out of water look and feel that helps convey what we wanted to tell with these characters. These kind of strangers in a strange land sort of a vibe.
So this character does come with an alternate head. This is the head that you originally saw on the Tusk Engineer, but once again fully painted up here to match the rest of the armor for Jobara. And this is the full build out there. This is actually the first photo we've shown that it shows that mask off of Jobara's head, so you can see the really cool paint job on that head and what you're going to get with this figure. Close up there of the face with the mask, really, really good paint job there. The symbols on the face and everything absolutely transform that, give it a very, very interesting exotic style look, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's the paints in this wave as we go through this. Everybody did a great job on the paints with this, because one of the things we wanted the overall wave has a specific look to it. But the paint jobs within that overall kind of color theming are really each very unique, and really play to the characters. So there's a great cohesiveness color wise to this wave, but there's nothing, not a case where it kind of nothing repeats in it. So Sherry, Cameron, Joe, the paints that they did on this stuff really, just outstanding work on this wave.
So this is another standard figure that will be $37 in the direct pre-order. That direct pre-order does begin tonight at 9:30 at storehorseman.com. Part of a dual operative team of Tusk empiricists sent to investigate a spatial anomaly around planet Thraxon, Jobara Key and her partner survived a crash landing on the strange planet. With the chance of a rescue from the Traders Union slim at best, the empiricists knew they would need to find a way to survive in the harsh environment they now found themselves in. Following a homing beacon transmitting on an old Traders Union frequency, the empiricists came upon a discovery they did not expect, a settlement that they would eventually discover was named Scape Haven. Jobara and her partner approached the settlement, but they were immediately besieged on all sides as raiders from the settlement who had been hiding attacked. Bringing up their heavy shields and wielding their electro batons, the pair of empiricists fought off nearly a dozen attackers. This display proved their worth and earned them an invitation to add their strength to the settlement of Scape Haven. With their Tusk training and equipment, the empiricists were assigned to serve under Kern Ray as two of Scape Haven's rovers, teams who scour the wastes of Thraxon looking for resources and taking what they need to survive. So this is a character, along with Hylor, that works under the previously revealed character of Kern Ray, and I thought it would be cool to show all three of them together so you kind of get a sense of what that little group of these Wasteland Rovers are going to look like side by side when you get all three of them in your collection.
Yeah, the way that the story rolled out on Oxkrewe Book 1, like we very much considered Kern to almost be like the stinger for that particular story. Just kind of this character showing up, on a cliff, looking down on the characters, mysterious, fully with the intention of Book 2 getting further into her group of characters and where they come from. And so with that said, this wave, maybe more than any wave we've done before, is very much a continuation of Book 1. Yeah. A lot of it was actually developed at the same time as Book 1. So there's a consistency that runs through it. Because the story was conceived in multiple parts from the beginning. And so I think when you see these characters, especially by the time we're done revealing this, you very much see how they relate to the Oxkrewe Book 1 characters, and the story just starts coming together even more and more, making more sense.
I think that's a good point. That like we did with the Mythic Legion's Necronominus wave and the All-Star 6 wave, this was part of the story that there were too many characters to reasonably do in one wave. So just like we did with Necro and All-Star 6, we decided to split them across two different waves. The cool part about that is really everything you're seeing here today was indeed sculpted along with Oxkrewe 1, which means it was sent to the factory along with Oxkrewe 1. So as Oxkrewe 1 is in progress and currently on pace for, probably early next year to be, shipped out and delivered, the parts that you're seeing today that are brand new, like that head on Hylor, those parts are already in the tooling. Those are going to be available. So the turnaround time that we're hoping to see on this is going to be much more rapid than one of our normal reveal waves might be.
Yeah. So we're gonna have, there's going to be a bit of a gap leading up to Book 1, but then we're going to have quick turnaround, and which again I think is going to tie these two waves together, even in just as far as you receiving the figures, like they're really going to feel very much connected.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to go forward here. We are going to look at a character whose name is probably familiar to anybody who's been following the Oxkrewe story. This is the first member of the actual Oxkrewe that we're seeing in this wave. This is a character, Cog, the ship's mechanic, who we started mentioning Cog's name all the way back in Book 1. We kind of dropped that. And then in some of the stories that we've had recently, we've been talking more about Cog. Specifically, this is a character when the Rovers come to the Oxkrewe's camp. The story that we've set up is they basically say that, hey, one of your members, the science officer, was attacked by Thraxians. We saved them, and the Oxkrewe's like, great, give her back to us. And they say, well, not so fast. We want to do a bit of a switch here. We need the help of your mechanic for something. So they're going to kind of do a bit of a switch. And both Cog and Velok, a character that we met in that first wave, they go with those Wasteland Rovers. So we're seeing the Oxkrewe actually split up. They've already lost so much. They've already had such devastation. Now they're splitting up. Cog and Velok are going with the Rovers. And this is what we're going to see for Cog here. So let's talk a little bit about this character. Another great shot by Trevor. Cog is the mechanic. He's working on the truck. This is a shot that it's a little hard to see exactly what he is. When you get it on your phone and you zoom in, you're going to be able to see all the details. But I'm going to go to this photo here so you can see him in a little bit more detail. Eric, I'm going to post this on Instagram. Why don't you talk us through this character?
Yeah, Cog, as Jeremy said, he's the mechanic. His loadout of accessories and stuff definitely plays to that. He's a very simian character. And then you see Joe bringing it up now. It's quite a bit of mass on this character.
A big figure.
And this is where, as Jeremy said, a lot of this stuff was developed all of it was developed at the same time as book one. And one of the reasons for that is with the Oxkrewe space armor, we needed to make sure that we could get the characters out of those parts that we needed to. And so if you look at this character, being that more simian build, he's got the lower torso's substantially increased. He's got longer forearms. And then the legs, he has the lower legs are shorter. He's got unique feet. He's got a tail. And I don't know. This is one of those characters that to me it just kind of, puts a smile on your face when you see him. There's just, he's a formidable looking character, but I don't know. There's a certain warmth and friendliness, I think, that comes through with the face on him. Very, very cool paint job on this. I really like the way that the classic, more gray spacesuit came out with some great bursts of color with the orange and blue. As I mentioned with the accessories, they really play up his mechanic status. So he's got the bolt cutters, and you don't see it in this particular picture here, but you do it a little bit. But so he's got these tool pouches that you can put on the belt that actually have a set of removable little space tools, I guess, for lack of a better term, that you can take in and out of the pouches, which there's already a lot you can do with the belts on these anyway, and then now you've got the addition of actually plug on pieces that then have removable little accessories that come out of that.
So let's talk about the head a little bit here. So he's got those goggles. This only comes with a single head, but there's some display options there. So those goggles do actually come off, and it's a separate piece that we'll see in a moment, so you can get the non-goggled look. So what you're seeing here, when Joe brought it out, you saw there is a dome. All of that neck piece comes off as well. The dome comes off if you want to have the head fully exposed. And when you look at that loadout, I think you can see here those separate goggles that have the little bit of the blue ridges. What happens is there's a piece, between his eyes, that pops out, where you can either pop in the plain one so he's got the ungoggled look, or you can pop in those goggles.
Yeah.
And then you see here all the tools as well. You were talking about those space tools, so we see all of that here, all of the equipment that he would need for his mechanical duties.
Yes. Yeah. The thing with the goggles was ended up being a very simple solution. As you can see, the size of the head here it's a very large piece. So rather than tooling up 2 entire heads just for a simple change of goggles, it's a nice solution. I love being able to include the 2 different options. So it's like, he's working and got his tools with the goggles on, or hanging out at camp with the goggles off.
So, close-up shot here of his head, and like I said, those who are following online, who are checking out Instagram, you can zoom in on that. Those who are in the room, you'll be able to get a close-up look at these soon enough. This is going to show you kind of a scale comparison. So that's one of the things when you're looking at this either through the live stream on Instagram, you might not see how this would size up. This will give you an idea here. Obviously, Hylor Kryn is the size of like a normal Tusk figure, like Tusk Sentry or so forth. So this gives you an idea, and it's approximate. These are, scaled approximate, but how much larger he is. And this is how that figure looks along with the other 3 members that have already come out for Oxkrewe. So, we promised everybody that do not worry, we are never going to not complete the team. We know how much that stinks when you're missing, one character on your team. This is what you're going to see for the 4 characters of Oxkrewe that have been revealed so far. Cog, like the other members of Oxkrewe, is a deluxe figure, so he's going to come in at $48. The Gorgonox's mechanic, Cog, has proven invaluable to the Oxkrewe survival efforts on the planet Thraxon. Unfortunately for Cog, the same skills that have made him an important member of the Oxkrewe have also made him a target for a hostile band of wasteland bandits. Accompanying the bandits to their settlement in order to secure the release of the Oxkrewe's captive science officer, Cog boards their transport as they head to the dreaded Harrow Zone, a stretch of unforgiving landscape separating the northern and southern parts of Thraxon. Surviving the journey through the Harrows is only the first challenge ahead of Cog. He knows that his strength will be tested if they are able to make it to the settlement his abductors have called Scape Haven. Cog is resigned to do what he must to rescue his fellow crew member, even if he has to fight every wasteland rover in Thraxon to do so. This guy means business, and you look at this figure, that is a figure that means business.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about Cog that we want to make people aware of?
I just think I'm really glad you included this shot, because that was one of the goals, with this Oxkrewe team, knowing that we were going to be sharing a lot of parts on this. It was, on the one hand, we wanted to do a consistent looking team that was in a uniform, but at the same time, we didn't actually want to have, one color suit that, you had 4 different heads on. And so that was really one of the goals and the challenges with this, is to make sure that we can do an entire team, that there's enough variation in the proportions, in, some of the various pieces of armor on the suit, where each one of these characters has a very unique look, and everything about it fits the character. If you look at him, his pauldrons are different than some of the other ones. Just, like I said, the feet are different. So there's just little things like that, along with the bigger items like the proportions and, of course, the new head, that he doesn't seem to be like the other characters, but he certainly fits in with the group.
Excellent. All right. Let's move forward a little bit. We're going to change things up a little. We're going to do a couple different things here.
Okay.
So people were they enjoyed the accessory set, the crates pack, basically, in the first set so much that we actually got a lot of requests to do more things like that. So we wanted to add a little something for this. That first set was very much meant to be a set of accessories that the Oxkrewe had scavenged from their Gorgonox ship and they were using in their makeshift camp. For this one, we wanted to create, some pieces, and there's, some parts we've seen before here, but create some pieces that these wasteland rovers would have with them. And we've already seen one. I already teased one the other day where we showed kind of that crate with the antenna. that somebody referred to as an alien boombox, which I was like, I hadn't thought that, but that's pretty awesome. So
it's not a bad thing.
no, and there it is. There is the alien boombox. So this is what we call the Wasteland Survival Set. This is very much in the spirit of what we did for that first wave. And when we shared this teaser the other day, you could see Hylor in the background there. That was the character that was cropped very specifically, so you couldn't totally make out what was going on. You can see it now that you know the context. You can see it a little bit better there. Like the first set, this is going to be a $25 set. This is going to come with, once again, 2 crates. And interestingly, those crates, those were actually ones that our team painted for the diorama that we debuted at PowerCon last year.
Yes, we did the initial set, and then the diorama was done, and I love the paint jobs on these so much, and the colors. Even the yellow one is actually somewhat similar to the one in the first set, but I really like the tone of yellow on this. I like the contrast in it. I like the paint applications. So we thought it would be cool to do some that were in that set, because they were in the photographs. They've already been. You've already seen them, and so it brings a little bit of continuity to that early photo shoot, and some of what we've seen in the past, and looking at this stuff, like, part of the purpose of this set, aside from it's just cool for world building, it's also that when we're bringing these new accessories into the line, say those binoculars that come with Kern. But a set of binoculars is a cool thing to have around and put on your figures. So it's just it's another way to get these accessories that are in a different color, so that if you want to build out your accessories on another character, you don't necessarily have to buy Kern Ray over and over again. Not that that's a bad thing, but. But yeah, so this is and like Jeremy said, we had such a good response, and we were pleasantly surprised with how good that response was in the first one. So, this is an opportunity just to take another crack at that, and if people like the crates, build out their crate displays, and get a few new accessories in there.
And there's a lot of cool stuff. I loved this shot that Trevor did where it shows that tube going into the bottom of the flashlight. The fact that, you've got these different options with these ports to use these elements, whether you put the antenna inside of that crate there to make the boombox or whatever. I like those options there. This is going to allow people that like photography. We talked with D Amazing this afternoon. We had our Q&A here. Dee was talking to us about not only drinking our water, but he was also talking about photography and elevating, this stuff and giving people elements that they can use in their photography. So this is, a set that I think is going to do that.
Jeremy, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm very sorry. But every one time, go back to that other image. There's that something looks like a cool, vehicle in the back, and I'm just wondering if Jeremy, I'm figuring if Trevor had taken some Photoshop or cut out some kind of poster or something and put that behind that, or I just don't know anything about that.
That's kind of been the phrase this weekend, right? I don't know anything about that.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, sorry about that.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt that. I know we're on a schedule, but it's just such a cool thing, and I just wondered if he had just cut that out of a magazine or something like that. Probably not.
I have a feeling that even though we may not see that available in a wave, in this particular wave, I have a feeling that that's something that exists in the real world that people will be able to get their eyes on, at least at maybe Legion's Con.
I feel better now. Sorry, I won't do that again.
No, it's fine.
You realize you are on the stage up here, Jim. You're okay.
I'm just enjoying the
Yeah,
stuff
no.
because a lot of times I don't really get to see it all complete in a nice, beautiful,
Yeah.
package.
Speaking of on stage, it's been the three of us this whole time. I do think maybe we want to bring up another guest on stage to talk to a little bit. Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
David Williams. Buddy, nice to see you, man. So, David, you are longtime friend of the studio. You've been, hung out with us. You've been to, a couple Legions cons and everything. Really, really enjoyed, having you as a member of this community. Can't say enough about, your demeanor and what you've given back. And recently, we showed some of the pins for Legions Con this year. And you got to do some of the artwork for those pins. That was a pretty cool thing for us to be able to reveal that you're actually getting to do some work with us on that.
Yeah, it's an incredible experience so far, just to be able to say that I did something.
Yeah.
For those guys.
And we're excited. You did not only the pins. We showed the pins for the two, the Gaspar and the Gorich figures. You also did the pins for the other two figures that are going to be revealed at Legions Con. But we didn't bring you up here to reveal that. We brought you up here to reveal the next figure in the wave. We thought that this would be a cool one. And Cornboy did say at the start that we're bringing back a bit of a fan favorite. We have had such a great weekend here at IshCon this weekend, but this would normally be the weekend that we'd be at PowerCon. So PowerCon is a show that Horsemen Studios has been involved with for years. This year, because of some scheduling snafus, they had to cancel it. And we've had a number of people that have said, those little PowerCon debut, that little subset of figures you do in the line, are you going to do that this year with no PowerCon? And we considered not doing it, but we know how much the fans really wanted us to do something. So we decided to do one in this wave. Now, this character is not part of this Oxkrewe story, but it was such a great character to put into this wave. This character is named Anthophilius. He's a Davophiliar from Be Gone 84. You can probably guess what this is, right? It's cool, right? So I just realized I'm so excited that I'm one behind on posting. Let me just say first off, David hasn't seen any of these pictures.
Yeah.
It was so hard not to share them, to send them to David and be like, David, check this out, check this out. We wanted Dave's reaction to be totally pure here. Tell us a little bit about this, why you are up here. This is actually a custom figure that you posted. Talk to us.
I've seen everybody that has gotten a tribute up here, and they're like just beside themselves, and I kind of get that now. This is Masters of the Universe kind of brought me into the Legions universe, and I just loved all the PowerCon debuts and tributes and stuff. And when these parts started to come out, everybody talked about the possible buzz-off that we were going to get. And I was just kind of waiting for somebody to make it. And when the parts all became available, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just make it. Took a couple of days and became what it is now. But this is insane.
So,
It's absolutely insane.
Anthophilius, that's his name. This was so funny when you posted it. I immediately screen capped it and sent it to Eric. And then Nate Barch, who's here with us in spirit this weekend, he's probably watching at home, he sent it to both of us, and he's like, "Did you see this?" And I think Bill, Mancuso sent it. Like multiple people saw it and immediately were like, "This is super, super cool." This was immediately a figure that we looked at and we said, "That is a wonderful build to represent this character. It works wonderfully well in the Cosmic Legions line." So we were thrilled to be able to add this in.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's sometimes we just see stuff like a custom that comes up, and especially in this case where it's a Masters that, people have a certain level of expectation on, and, we see this and we're just like, we're not going to come up with something better than this. Like, this is perfect as is. And so, yeah, I mean, we reached out and made sure it was okay, and, there it is. I mean, it might be my favorite of the Masters tribute so far. Like, it's spectacular.
Thank you so much.
So we did add something to it. Okay. You can probably see it in front there, but I'll bring it up there. So we did add a second head to it that wasn't originally in your... It's cool, right? That's really cool. Yeah, so this also comes with the Sphexian head that goes on there as well to get that look. There's the loadout you're going to get with this. So you get 3 sets of hands. You get a couple different weapons. You get that helmeted head with the 2 different sets of mandibles, and of course that original head that you put in there. There's a close-up of the piece. We took the inspiration of yours and used it as that to create this. Really looks. It's interesting because that original custom is now in Dorklear's collection. So Dorklear has like an original inspiration piece from this.
Yeah, I saw that he can army build them.
Yeah. So this is a standard figure. He's going to be $37. Again, he's a Davo Filiar from Begone 84. Natives of the hive-like planet of Begone 84, the Davo Filiar are distantly related to the more common Sphexians. The Davo Filiar have prevented the same planet-wide resource depletion that has plagued the Sphexians' homeworld of Zapier by remaining largely isolated with very little contact outside of their own planet. This isolation includes strict travel restrictions to Begone 84, restrictions which are enforced by the soldiers that guard the skies above the hive world, constantly on the lookout for unwanted visitors. Anthophilius is one of the Davofiliar guardians of Begone 84, assigned to Zone A, the warmest part of the planet. Anthophilius leads those under his command with a steady hand, calm demeanor, and warm personality that is rare for his species. So, for those that may not know, David is from Arizona, which is Zone A, the warmest part of the planet. Although I think North Carolina this weekend was kind of giving that a run for its money, right? Yeah, super cool figure. Thank you so much for being a part of this reveal tonight and for bringing this character design into Cosmic Legions.
Thank you for having me and everything you guys do.
Absolutely. One more time, give it up for David. Okay. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. We're both smiling. So that, as we said, was a little bit of, a side jaunt, something that we wanted to get into the line. This was a great wave to do so, but this character is not technically part of this storyline. As we've always said, the PowerCon debut figures, those are kind of a subset that are meant to be very cool figures, but they are not part of the lore and the canon. Right. But a character that is part of the lore and canon is this next one, the Thraxian Hunter. So back when we did Wave 1, we talked about there are different kinds of Thraxians. In the first one, we saw the Thraxian Scouts. Now, the Thraxian Scouts, they kind of got into it with Oxkrewe a little bit, but it ended up being a misunderstanding. These characters and their aggression is certainly not a misunderstanding.
Correct.
Here we've got the Thraxian hunter engaged in that chase with our heroes as they are, our heroes, our wasteland rovers, and the heroes that are on that vehicle as they are going through the Harrow Zone. Eric, talk to us a little bit about what we're seeing on this character.
You know, when we introduced the Thraxian Scout, we very much had the idea that the Thraxians were a species that had, you know, very much subsex of that species, and this was one that, you know, we knew we wanted a more aggressive type of Thraxian to bring out, and so with this one, we, you know, really much wanted to cover the face and like build this aggressive armor onto the head where they're more mysterious, they're more faceless, and just more intimidating. So, you know, we put this cool armor on the head. It's got the gritted teeth on it. We brought soft goods into this one as well to bring that more kind of desert wasteland vibe to the character. He's got some different parts built into this one from the first one, although it's, you know, very similar in you know, in physicality to it. But here we've got different. It's the forearms in particular that have a different build, where it's a fully anatomical forearm that has a slip over wristband on it. And it has an exposed knee. I mean, these are somewhat subtle, but they're exciting for us.
Yeah.
You know, it has an exposed knee as opposed to an armored knee. So it's getting us closer to this more reptilian body build, getting us closer to a full top to bottom build on it. And this character also has a new hand weapon, this kind of jawbone type weapon, as well as the spear tip is a new piece too, which is a bit of you know, kind of the Thraxian landscape built into you know, a sharpened tip. So it's very, you know, again, playing up the aggressiveness of this character. So they're very intimidating. And as Jeremy just showed there's a second head on it that has the unhelmeted look. You've also got the ability to remove the soft goods. You know, you can remove the wristbands. So there's some elements on this character where you can build up, you know, kind of a clan of these characters. That, you know, there's enough variation in it where it doesn't, you know, just doesn't look like the same character repeated over and over. You can get a nice little group of these together. And
that is a second head. The helmet does not come off. It is sculpted on there. So you can see the loadout here where, I mean, it's got a hands pack. It's literally a Thraxian hands pack that you get with this. And you get, as you mentioned, that jawbone weapon, that spear weapon, and the two different heads. There we've got a close-up look of that much more aggressive-looking face and mask. So you were talking about building out a clan. You know, this is just taking literally a couple of Trevor shots and repeating them there to show what a group of these together might look like. Obviously, if you take off some of those soft goods or whatever, you're going to get even more variety. And to compare this Thraxian to the first one, to really see how different these two look with those, you know, the first one, that armor, that organic armor almost looked like, you know, it looked wood-like to me, but it's like the rocks and the organic elements of Thraxon, where the second one really looks like bones. And we even wrote that into the character's biography. This is a standard figure. It's going to cost $37 in the direct pre-order. While most Thraxians are hostile only when they believe there is a threat to their tribe, there are also those for whom violence is not simply a survival instinct, but rather the means towards conquest and domination. One particularly aggressive clan of Thraxian hunters inhabit the desolate stretch of landscape separating the northern and southern halves of Thraxon known as the Harrow Zone. Clad in armor fashioned from the bones of their enemies, these hunters often attack travelers who choose to use the Harrows, especially those whom they believe they can easily overpower. In a worrisome turn of events, the tactics of these Thraxians have changed as of late, and attacks on even obviously well-equipped convoys have grown at an alarming rate. The level of coordination and planning seen in their attacks has also increased, evidence that points to someone using these hunters as part of a larger plan. Rumors have swirled of a wasteland warlord who aims to rule over all of Thraxon, and who is seemingly using the violent proclivities of the Thraxians to help further his goals. It is a party of these Thraxians who are hunting the convoy traveling from the Oxkrewe's camp back to Scape Haven. Setting up a trap along the Harrow Zone, the hunters lie in wait as their prey makes their way towards them in an inevitable clash that may have important implications for the power structure of Thraxon. So stuff is going on. There's a bunch of, for those lore nuts who like to dissect all of this, I look forward to hearing as they dissect some of the little tidbits that we're starting to throw in here. Not all of them are going to be realized in this wave because we've got a lot more Cosmic Legions to come in the years to come. So if you see something or you hear something in there and you're like, that guy sounds cool, Wasteland Warlord, wait for it. Eric, anything else that we want to talk about with this character?
I mean, I think the only thing I didn't mention, though, just as I'm looking at it, going back to, what I mentioned early on about, the kind of the overall look of the line, where it's a very earthy line. It's got a lot of neutrals and browns in it. This is a really fantastic figure to kind of show what I was mentioning earlier about, how each one, even though it's in that color family, has its own unique character. And even on this character itself, there's a lot of different kind of brownish and those neutral colors. But I mean, especially when I look at that one in the center where the helmet is off and the light's hitting it a certain way, just the details and the colors on this thing pop so well. And even though there's other characters that have a lot of brown in the line, this character looks nothing like it. So I mean, I love the way the character, the color variation in this line has worked out. Yeah. Like it's, I don't know. People are doing good work at the studio. So
they are.
It gets me excited.
So for those who are following at home, once again, we apologize for the weather connection problems that we are having here. My understanding is our audio is coming through, but unfortunately, the video tends to get frozen on certain things, and then it catches back up, then it freezes. We are posting these to Instagram as we go, so if you're following there as well, you should be at least seeing the photos that we are showing on screen. And my hope is that all of this, once it does get uploaded to YouTube, will not be frozen, that this will be a somewhat seamless stream, because it certainly is not streamless from up here.
No.
But we're doing our best. Never let them see you sweat.
It is live.
It is live. We are a couple of warriors up here. Okay, the next character that we're going to reveal is, Corn Boy said earlier, I forget how he said it. He said a riding vehicle with 4 legs. And then someone earlier, actually today, Dee was asking us about skatebacks and how much he liked the skateback axt, if we're going to see that again. This is a new kind of skateback called a mountain skateback. And as opposed to the skateback that we saw in the first wave, which was a nameless creature, it was, one of a herd that kind of stampedes and attacks, this is actually a named character. This is Bungie. Now, I love this photo, but this photo that Trevor took is so blended in, because the skatebacks are meant to blend in with their environment, that it is actually a great shot that shows how Bungie blends into that diorama that our team back at the studio, Bill, Dan, and the team, they created this wonderful diorama for the first Oxkrewe that's being reused here as well. So I'm going to go to this one where you get to see a little bit more of what Bungie looks like. Eric, you want to talk about Bungie?
Absolutely. Yeah, this when we were developing the skate back in the first wave, it was obviously a very aggressive look to the character. Just the sharp teeth, the fanned out spiky head and all that. And when we were thinking about what the next type of skate back was going to look like, we wanted to do something, even though it still has a lot of these sharp plates and a lot of the similar anatomy, we wanted to do something that had a very docile, calm look in comparison to that first figure. And so this one, it has enough consistency to it where it does look like they are from variants of the same species, but it certainly has gone in a different direction as it's evolved. So certainly like much less spikes to the head, a much, I guess to me, friendlier looking face on this. It's more of a like a pack animal here. And so just looking at some of the differences on this figure from the first, first and foremost, very different head on this, and even the proportion of the head, significantly smaller head. So it changes the proportion of the entire figure just with that head change. Mm-hmm. It's got, even on the shoulders, on the back or the back of the biceps, the spikes are smaller on it. Different hands and feet on it, where again it's much less aggressive. It has more characteristics of like a pachyderm or something along that line. Again, so it's I don't know. Again, less aggressive. Yeah. That's what I keep going back to. The different tail on this character than the first. The first one had more of this thin, wispy, like kind of whip-like tail, and then what might be the most obvious thing aside from the head, it's got a saddle. It's got reins. It's got Cookie's favorite, the bedroll.
It's got a bedroll. It's got a bedroll 2.0.
Yes, it's got the bedroll to end all bedrolls right here. And even aside from like the physical characteristics, again, like the colors here are the first one. They were very bright. They're very vivid, very in your face. This is a calmer palette. Yeah. So it really all speaks to the character of this creature and what its place is within the story and within the scope of our characters here.
So as we said, this is a named character, so this is not just going to be one. You can certainly buy multiples, please do. And if you take off the saddle and everything, you can use this as a mountain skate back. But this particular character is Bungie. He is a deluxe creature. This one is going to be $48. Much more docile than their lowland cousins, mountain skatebacks are hardy beasts who are known for their great strength as well as their unwavering loyalty to their herd. This loyalty extends to any handlers they befriend and whom they allow to saddle them as mounts. Separated from his herd as a calf, Bungie was found lost in the wastes of Thraxon by a party of Veblian wanderers. Keeping the calf alive, the Veblians tried to reunite the creature with its kind, only to discover that the herd had been attacked and killed by hunters. Knowing that the calf would not survive on its own, a Veblian named Oxkrewe raised the creature, forming an unbreakable bond with the skateback that exceeded even the natural tendencies of these affable beasts. Bungie's cool. I really like Bungie. I'm not going to lie. When we gave Bungie his name and gave him his story, I really liked Bungie a lot more. Personalizing him and making him an actual character, I think really added him to my heart.
It's a nice bio. It's sad, but it's nice.
Well, the bio talks about Bungie's companion, Oxkrewe. Obviously, we can't give you Bungie without Oxkrewe. Now, Oxkrewe's a Veblen, and we have already seen a Veblen in the first wave, okay? The first wave, Oxkrewe, ended up being kind of like the surprise, like, hit of that wave. When we revealed it last year at PowerCon, people loved that character.
Yeah.
So to come back and do another Veblen was a really cool thing, and I really like this next one. Oxkrewe, again, is the Veblen Wanderer. Both Oxkrewe and Bungie are actually part of the Scape Haven group. So we're getting 4 different members of Scape Haven here. This is what we get for Oxkrewe. So this figure, go ahead, Eric, this has got a bunch of new pieces that we are seeing for the first time, including some really cool soft goods. Tell us about what we're seeing here with Oxkrewe.
Yeah, so, I mean, we loved these Veblen characters, you know, before we ever revealed them to you. They just, I don't know, there's something about them that was very endearing to us. And as Jeremy said, they were kind of a surprise hit. So we were thrilled when people felt the same way, you know, about these characters. They seemed to almost hit like the way that Thistlethorn did in Mythic a little bit.
Jesse's beaming over there.
And so, you know, luckily we liked them enough, so we went ahead and had a second one ready to go. And so with Wave 1, you know, we kind of explored this more like Tinkerer type look to what these characters could be. We wanted to have one that was more of a warrior type character in the second wave. So, you know, we came up with, what would a Veblen, in armor look like? You know, what would a helmet look like over that anatomy? Which just, that full facial covering is just instantly cool. Like, it brings, some mystery to the character. It certainly plays into this, again, like wasteland type desert motif that we've got going on. And then, on top of that, the idea was always to go with this kind of like poncho look for the character. And, this is one of those cases where, we sent all the specs to CJ, CJS them, and, it comes back just so much cooler than we could have anticipated. Go back to to that one you had before. So one of the things that is really neat about this poncho is it works like more like a traditional poncho where it kind of folds over and naturally the arms come out the sides. But CJ came up with this idea where he added these little slits in the front so that for handling a weapon or doing certain types of things, that would require, a bit more freedom in the arms. You can actually slip the arms like through and have like these front openings on it for him to hold the rifle or the staff or whatever. So again, it's a cool bit of versatility that is in just the poncho alone, and the little pouch on the front actually opens and closes, so you can drop things in the pouch.
Yes.
So it's the character's got a bit more of like a tactical look to it with the sniper rifle, the helmet, the poncho. I don't know. I like the way this came together. I love the Veblens. I like the fact that we were able to bring out another one with a really different character to it. Kind of a different a different motivation, a different purpose than we've seen so far with these characters.
And I do have some photos to show some of that stuff you're talking about with the soft goods. Additionally, it does come with a second head, and the soft goods are fully removable. It does have armor, so you can make a very, very different look for this character by removing some of those pieces. So this is the loadout you're going to get here. You're going to get 4 sets of hands, both of those heads, the weapons and armor, and so forth. Nice group of parts that you can use to mix and match there. There's a close-up of that new helmeted head. Let me read this, and then I've got a couple more photos to show. So this is a deluxe figure between, those soft goods and everything. That's going to come in at $48. A Veblean wanderer, Ogcha, and his loyal mountainscape bat companion Bungie patrol the wastes of Thraxon. Their travels include the dangerous stretch known as the Harrow Zone, where they hunt the hunters who prey on those who traverse the wastes. Armed with his high-impact rifle, Ogcha waits for the convoy from Scape Haven to make their way towards his location along the Harrows. Watching from afar as a party of Thraxian hunters prepares to ambush the convoy, those hunters never expected to take on fire from the Veblean sniper just as they prepared to spring their trap. Riding alongside the convoy, Ogcha and Bungie race towards Scape Haven as more and more Thraxian hunters fall in behind them. Their mission clearly meant to stop the rovers from reaching the settlement with Cog and the resources they carry from Oxkrewe. So this is a character, if you're imagining this story, the group from the Scape Haven, they're racing across the Harrows, and the Thraxians are attacking, and then from out of nowhere, Ogcha and Bungie are sitting there, and Ogcha starts taking fire, picking off some of those Thraxians, providing some cover so his friends can make it past him. And then together, he's galloping with Bungie. The rover's vehicle is coming through towards Scape Haven and towards the next chapter of Oxkrewe.
Yeah.
Those are the figures that we have for the wave. So let's talk a little bit about the all-in price, the pre-order window and all that. But before we get there, I did say I have a couple other pictures. So this is approximately what these two characters are going to look like together. You've got them, actually, if you're in the room, you can see them on the table. This is Ogcha and Bungie together. And actually, Ogcha's probably a little bit taller than this, as I see them side by side here. Maybe a little bit taller. Ogcha's on a stand there, so that adds a little bit. But this is pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, the way the legs work on this character, I mean, they stretch out quite long and compact quite a bit. But yeah, I do think he's a little bit bigger in comparison.
Now, as far as that soft goods that Eric just mentioned go, you can see that on that first shot, we have, the poncho fully down, the arms, like a normal poncho would be worn. But then that image, and these images are both from CJ. He sent us these as he was prototyping this for our approval. You can see, putting those arms through those slits so you can get that aiming pose.
Yeah, I mean, these were, just when CJ sent these pictures over, they were, really cool and really just showed what the figure could do well. So we thought, these would just be nice to throw on here at the end, just to, kind of demonstrate some of the versatility of that poncho.
And of course, the question everyone is wondering is about that new bedroll. Is that bedroll functional? Yes, it is. So you can unroll that bedroll. You can put Ogcha or other, characters in there as well.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know. When CJ sent this picture, because this was not requested. This was pure CJ just adding something special to the figure. And I mean, when I saw this, I was just smiling ear to ear, just laughing at it. It just, I don't know. The picture is just, I don't know. I can't add anything to that. It's just the picture says it all.
Last couple things. So this Oxkrewe Book 2 Harrow Zone Wave, of course, all of these figures are available for purchase individually from Store Horsemen. That sale is going to be starting in about 17 minutes at 9:30. If you want to get all of them, the all-in price to get in one, that's going to be $299. So you're going to get, Bungie, that deluxe creature. You're going to get Ogcha that we just saw, that deluxe figure. Cog is another deluxe figure. And then the standard figures are the Thraxian Hunter, the Hylor Kryn and Jobara Key, and of course the Anthophilius and that Wasteland Survival set. You're going to get all of that, 7 figures plus that accessory set for the $299.
Yep.
The pre-order date, as I just mentioned, it starts tonight at 9:30. This is going to be just about a 1-month pre-order. So this is going to end on Sunday night, September 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern. That's always the time that we end it. I don't know why I do that, because I like to go to bed early, and for some reason I schedule them till 11 o'clock, and I have to stay up and do that. But you know what? It gives maybe a few extra hours, and we're happy to do that. So that's what we've got for you. Well, we do have a couple more things to show. So if you remember, if you saw the reveal special that we did for the first Oxkrewe wave, we ended that by showing a new piece of artwork from Tom Wayland. Tom is an artist, Strong Stuff on Instagram, that big fan of Horsemen Studios. We are a big fan of him as well. We've loved working with Tom. We've done a couple of projects with him already, including the first Oxkrewe poster. So we have a new Oxkrewe poster available. This is the Oxkrewe Book 2 poster by Tom Whalen. This poster is going to be $50, just like the first one. This is actually going to go up for sale on our website at 9:30 tonight as well, but it is in stock. So this is going to be something that we actually have in stock. We also have a number of other items on our website in stock as well. A lot of Mythic Legions item. We have the Walter the Mad Cosmic figure on there, and Mythic. Those are going to remain on the website, so you will be able to place orders for both in stock and pre-order. It's going to have you check out separately if you order both in stock and pre-order. But we do have these posters available. We do also have a limited number here for sale at IshCon. If you are in the room and you do want to buy one of these tonight, Diego and the team in back, we do have a limited number available here for $50 as well. This is how the Book 1 poster and the Book 2 poster look together. In addition to that Book 2 poster going up for sale tonight, we do also have a very limited number of Book 1 posters available. It is our final stock, so if you missed out on the first one and you want to get them both, tonight's going to be your chance to do so.
Yeah.
Finally, these sweet shirts that a couple of us are wearing, these Oxkrewe shirts. We had these made last year by Retro Rags Limited, our partner for apparel. We love these colors. These colors are still available, but because Oxkrewe is a much, more, down and dirty kind of deserty type look, we wanted some new colors as well. So the colors you see right now, those are available at Retro Rags Limited. That'll go up tonight around 9:30 as well. With that, we thank all of you for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. Thank you very much. Jim, do you want to come back up? We'll say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to put my headphones back in, see if CB is still around. Corn Boy, I'm going to bring you back on stage. Corn Boy, thank you for sticking with us. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Absolutely. Favorite is Cog. Absolutely. Well, Corn Boy, we're going to let you go. We're going to let everybody who's been, tuning in and sticking through this, and everyone in the room go, because we are here at IshCon and the party is just getting started. We're going to have some fun tonight. thank you all very much for joining us. Yeah, we wish you were here too, Corn Boy. We will see you soon. You know, Legions Con is 14 weeks away, I believe. We hope to see you there.
You're killing me.
Absolutely, and we hope to see you all there as well. Thank you all very much. Reminder again, the Oxkrewe Book 2 Harrow Zone Wave goes up for pre-order tonight at 9:30 at storehorseman.com. Thank you, everyone. You have a good night. All right, CB, we're going to let you go, okay? Oh, there he is. All right.
Just give me a minute to get some stuff set up before we get too tight in, all right?
You going to do them up here?
Yeah, might as well.